It is now truly done. So the first time I flew it with these props, the quad reacted very poorly. I got hot motors and determ noise in the video and all kinds of bad things. Also, I got a nice long antenna. Look at this. It made a huge difference, as you'd expect. But these props, this quad, did not mix whatsoever. Now, I might not have shown all of it, but I actually did struggle quite a lot when I was soldering this quad, especially with this ESC. I don't know why, but my previous iron just did not do the trick. So I got a new iron. This is same brand, Sequire, Secure, something, that one. This is the it's this, SIO12 Pro Max. It does 100 watt with these tips. There's 100 watt tips. 75 watt with the standard TS tips, and 65 watt on T12 tips. It takes all three in one iron. I think that's pretty cool. Super cheap. It was cheaper than my previous iron, and it works like 5 trillion times better. I haven't shown you a clip of it because I didn't bother recording it, and I probably won't. If I do, then that's cool, but whilst my joints aren't shiny because I didn't use enough flux, they are flowed much better. And now it flies with these props really well. Insert clip of that next.
Is when you flash your firmware, you have to go here and add position hold and altitude hold manually if you want them. They're not included by default. Why didn't they tell you this in the release notes? I don't know. You'd expect that it would be here if you go to release notes and you click here. The main thing, they literally brag about it right here, but they don't tell you that you need to add it manually. I'm just going to do a very quick basic setup. Obviously, going to complain that our accelerometer isn't calibrated, so you got to put it in a flat level surface, hit the calibrate button, then I want to see something. Okay, so you can still change the bore alignment. I saw they mentioned that you can't change the gyro and everything specifically, but I see you can still change the general alignment. So we're going to drop to 4 kilohertz because GPS rescue saturates the whole thing. Just set up your ports. You know, you have to remember where your RX is. Where is your VTX? Smart audio. If you have smart audio, VTX, MSP plus DisplayPort. If you have digital, IRC Trump. If you have Tramp. I'm sure you know what you have. GPS would be here by sensors, enable GPS, save and reboot. Beeper, let's see. I'd love it if I can copy those and not have to redo those. Sweet. Let's save those so long. What else we have? VTX table. Let's try that again here. Save. Connect. VTX table. That table is there. That's all good and dandy. Just copy pasting from my previous configuration, things that I should be able to copy and paste without actually having to worry about. Power and battery. Eventually I'm going to change over to a lithium ion, at which point you'd want to lower this value and this value so that it doesn't misread, but I'm not going to do that now. Fail safe. These numbers, I think I'm going to copy paste my old GPS settings. Let's see, Control C. Doesn't look like any of these have changed. Control B. Something changed. The throttle changed. Let's see. Invalid name. Gyro Rescue Throttle Hover. Okay. Anyways, I need to solve. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. I need to change the throttle hover. Whilst I wait for GPS signal, I should say that this GPS does not have a compass magnometer. So
whilst position hold shouldn't be the best, it should at least work. So I'm going to quickly test it, just waiting for signal. It might rain, but hopefully I have enough time to give it a good little test. Okay, we'll now activate position hold. Position hold fail. Okay. Exited altitude hold. Position hold failed means it does not know which way it's pointing. So here Betaflight does mention that you should do straight line pitched forward at a decent speed for at least several seconds, and you'll get this warning in OSD if it doesn't work for some reason. And this is all I ever got. I did try and fly at a decent speed in a straight line for a while. It is now the next day where I will try again. There's a bit of wind every now and then, mostly just gusts, but it's mostly still. Waiting for satellites, and then we'll go up and see if it holds position. Third, and probably the final test, will begin shortly. Turns out I never saved the CLI setting that allows it to activate, by it I mean position hold, without magnometer. I assumed that it would just know it's supposed to be able to activate without a magnometer if the magnometer is disabled in the configuration of Betaflight. Turns out it's not the case, but yeah. There's a CLI command for that, and you have to go enable it yourself. I think it's kind of weird that they did it that way, but yeah, it is what it is. We'll test now when we have a GPS. Cool. Back to where it was. So you may have noticed that the quad was going up and down quite a lot with altitude hold. So in order to fix that, I'm going to try and putting in this foam. This is the next part that I'm going to replace, the GPS. So this one supposedly doesn't work properly, so I got it for about half price. I believe it does work properly, that's why I bought it, and I think it's just the flight controller that was connected to that simply couldn't handle all the informations. So yeah, I'm gonna throw this on. Well, I need to make a mount for it first, print the mount, then I'll put it on and hunt for cables. Unfortunately, that is something that needs to happen, but this is considerably bigger than the Nano that is currently on there. These work fine. These are great. They just take a while if it's in a difficult situation, and also want the barometer for better height. So yeah. With the power of 3D printing and Fusion 360, I've printed a nice snug little mount for it out of TPU, of course, because why would you use anything else on a drone? So iFlight have made some weird design choices, and apparently these two pads here, R3 and T3, are also the SDA and L pads for the I2C. This is just flux, I'll clean it off, don't worry. So yeah, apparently when you have the barometer active, these are remapped to I2C communication, which is weird. Why didn't they just give it a dedicated pad? I don't know, this is weird. iFlight's weird. Well, I think it's finally done. It has a lithium-ion battery, it has a massive GPS, which works lovely. I don't know what more could you possibly need. Another lithium-ion, maybe? Maybe. Only other thing that I've almost considered doing, that I kind of want to do, is a gimbal. Like putting this, moving this in front, and then putting the FPV camera on top of it, and then putting a gimbal. And, yeah, hey, what's this cable? Ah, damn it! Alright, now it is done. We have diversity dual band, completely overkill. I get it, completely overkill. But I wanted to do it because I can. The difference between this dual band diversity and just a regular, just single thing was like nothing. And well, not nothing, but very little. And the difference between dual band diversity and just low band diversity was also nothing. Granted, the low band diversity had a higher telemetry, but I mean, why? Who cares? We have this. Okay, so originally I was gonna do the whole receiver install in a separate video, but considering this one's supposed to be titled something along with fixing all the problems, I decided I'll include it in this one because I've actually in fact just created more problems. So it turns out this receiver that I bought is not supported by ELRS. I was unaware. Yeah, I mean the receiver does work and everything, and I did fly it out a fair distance. It does work, but it's not currently supported by ELRS. It's not on the configurator target list, and it looks like it hasn't been for a while. I wasn't aware that you're actually supposed to look for that. I just assumed better of iFlight. But as you saw when I first showed you the receiver in my video master review video, which I don't know if that's out yet. Probably not. Maybe not. I'll put that clip in here if I haven't shown it already. I got this dual band receiver from iFlight. Yeah, I don't know if I should have gone iFlight. I did have slight reservations about iFlight, and that's because of this flight controller. Again, the flight controller works. It's weird. Well, that one I can't update the receiver. It's stuck on 3.6.2. It's the latest version they provide. I did email them, but Chinese New Year, so I won't hear back from them in another 10 days or so. So yeah, that's a little annoying that I can't update it to ELRS 4.0. So I've had to roll back all of my other hardware. Hey, on the bright side, I can use my tiny whoop with the GX12 now, because that one also can't go to 4.0, but that's because it's SPI. It runs old hardware, because I don't want to spend much money on the tiny whoop. Anyways, the next problem that I can't solve is current calibration, which kind of important, but I just can't get it calibrated. I'll have to measure the current directly. I tried using a multimeter and doing the low current calibration, but that's basically impossible. I don't necessarily think it's because it's an iFlight flight controller. I think it's because it's an iFlight flight controller paired with a different brand ESC. It's using a X cross. I don't know why you put X and then cross. You just cross. Anyways, yeah, it's using one of those 60 amp. It's hardware that I got with a drone that I bought a while ago, but I bought the drone for its HD0 hardware, not for everything else. So yeah, I can't get the current calibrated. I'll have to use like a high current measurement system, I think, because I tried the low current and it's just too unstable, can't get anywhere. Trial and error doesn't work because the current reading steadily decreases as the voltage decreases, which obviously that shouldn't happen. And on all my other quads, this is not a problem. It's a non-problem, and they run Mamba and Rush stacks. So I would put one in here if I had more money, but I don't, so I can't. So I won't. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So you'll never believe this. I found yet another problem, and I have a small update on the iFlight receiver. I did have some other things to say about it, but I'll probably remove that from the video and re-record that. Although my opinion of the receiver doesn't really change. So, one, I can update this flight controller without desoldering everything. I'm just forced to use the boot button. Only problem is, the boot button is broken. So I have to grab like tweezers and very carefully short those two sides. Which still means I have to open the quad, but it's better than having to desolder everything to get it to go into DFU mode. Next problem. This GPS has a barometer on it. I wanted to use that barometer, and I was wondering why it wasn't working, and then eventually I realized my SDA and SCL wires are swapped. Okay, no biggie. I'll swap them. Now, neither this barometer nor that barometer works, because that one is a BMP 280, and this is a DPS 310, and both of their I2C addresses 0x76, just 118 in the in the CLI. It's 118 in the CLI. So I need to change this one's address to something else. And the other one is 119. How do you change that? You may wonder. You remove that there resistor, that one right next to the barometer, the one you can see. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be easy because like this is my finest. So hold on, where's my soldering iron? There. That is my finest soldering iron tip. Like, how am I gonna do this? I don't know, but I'll try. At the risk of breaking the GPS, probably, but I'll try carefully. Alright, I removed the resistor. That was actually very difficult. And at some point, the cover for the barometer came off. I know it looks like it's back on, but it's loose. I don't know how I'm going to secure it. Glue, maybe, but the thing picks up so easily. I don't know what I'm going to do. This is going to be difficult. Okay, well, this is definitely the end of the video, and maybe the end of the series for the foreseeable future. So, I got the compass working, I got the barometer working. Great stuff, great stuff. Calibrated the compass, and it was just, whilst I was checking that the compass is calibrated correctly, I just hear, you know, just a little something to top it off, you know. It literally, why? So, most of the stack seems to work. My camera doesn't work. I don't have video. And like there you can see the residue it left on the ESC. Now you might be thinking, oh, it touched the ESC, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it goes on something a little bit like that. Let me just zoom in. Yeah. Come on, stand still. It's still far. It's nowhere close. It's not even crushing the cables underneath it. It's obviously why the cables are underneath. Let me move the cables. Also, the cables are intact. I checked. Yeah, see? Even if I can't even squish it enough to almost even get close. And if you're wondering about the cables, they are in one piece. So, no idea. It just blew up unprompted. In the corner of the room, the junkyard full with eyes of gloom. I asked him time again.